The richest man is back at it again, taking down the House of Mouse and the host of folks who have driven Mickey into the gutter. Elon Musk weighing in on Kathleen Kennedy's Star Wars and calling her worse than the Death Star. Hello, folks. Welcome back to the place where we do not believe in killing franchises. Nay, we say, lift them up, make them great, do the things that people want to go see them do in the movies, on the screens. Give us our heroes and give them to us well. Elon Musk seems to agree. The richest man in the world taking on Kathleen Kennedy and saying what so many of us have been thinking for so long, but he has the megaphone to get the media to go along with what he's saying. I don't know if they'll agree, but they're at least going to have to report on it, and that's what we're doing today, folks. Let's talk about the ramifications of the world's richest man, once again putting Kathleen Kennedy on notice. This is by John Trent. Elon Musk trashes Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy, says she's more deadly than the Death Star. Oh, boy. Is this as big? What do you guys think? If the world's richest man says you're worse than the Death Star, is that bigger than the South Park episode, or is it anywhere in close proximity? What do you guys think first before we get into it?
I think without the rest of the facts, it's maybe something that would pass us by. But the fact that he's so closely tied with Nelson Peltz right now, he's obviously watching what's going on with the Disney stock price. He just got $50 billion. Some of it he'll have to pay taxes on. And that he didn't have $50 billion the last time when everyone was focused on him and whether or not he was going to buy shares. I think this is a pretty big deal. And even if it's not, he's threatening Bob Iger without threatening Bob Iger, literally.
I think that's fair. Elon Musk did not hold back as he trashed Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy in the wake of the most recent Star Wars show, The Acolyte, airing on Disney Plus. To no views. Musk responded to a Star Wars meme that labeled the Death Star as a planet killer. Starkiller Base is a system killer. The First Order Siege Dreadnought, Manticore as Fleet Killer, and finally a photo of Kathleen Kennedy as franchise killer. Musk wrote, "She's more deadly than the Death Star." There it is, folks. There's the tweet. Yep, and it's coming ahead of the Acolyte episode 5. So great day for Musk to post this. Musk is no stranger to criticizing Lucasfilm, Star Wars, and the Walt Disney Company. Back in March, he reacted to a clip of Leslye Headland describing the Acolyte as lesbian fan fiction with a Star Wars veneer. Oh, and by the way, they're trying to run away from that now. Have you noticed that? Have you guys noticed that Leslye thinks it's now reductive to talk about the witches as being lesbians, yet she was talking about the Acolyte being lesbian fan fiction just not very long ago. Does anybody notice?
Yeah,
they're jumping ship.
I thought she was proud of that. Be stand on that. Be proud of this monstrosity that you've constructed.
Yeah, be proud of it, Leslye. Look, it's the most important piece of art you've ever created, which is
it's reductive to call the Death Star a giant space laser. It's also a giant space station that happens to have a giant space laser on it that can destroy a planet.
Exactly. During an interview at Star Wars Celebration in 2023 discussing the show, Headland stated, "When I saw Frozen as a grown blank woman, I cried through the entire movie." Which, by the way, folks, is a great indicator to see your therapist. There was just something about the relationship between the sisters. The, de-villainization of the classic kind of fairy tale bad guy. Like Harvey. How I wish he could be de-villainized. I'm sorry. I hallucinated for a moment. Sorry, guys. I lost context and just kept going with what seemed normal to me based on what she says. The concept of true love being between two sisters and not a heterosexual relationship. It just destroyed me completely, like those women I saw go in his office. I'm so sorry, folks. It keeps happening to me. I don't know what's going on. She continued, and I thought, gosh, I would love to make something like this, for lack of a better term, Disney. Meaning something that, my parents would have allowed me to see when I was younger as a queer person, looking up to Ursula. But I would have been able to understand as a queer person, like Ursula. And I think I would have had a completely different life. Maybe I wouldn't have went to work for Harvey Weinstein and stayed quiet about all those women. I'm sorry, folks. That's not what it says. And so I really was inspired by it and was like, God, who I probably don't believe in, I would love to make a story like this. That's too harsh. I went too far. I'm being mean now. Oh, let's cut here. Hang on a second. Let's find out what Leslye says is most important. This is Elon Musk also commenting on this one. Just in case you thought Elon Musk is only jumping in for the laughs, seems like he's paying attention. Here it is.
When I saw Frozen as a grown ass woman, I cried through the entire movie. There was just something about the relationship between the sisters, the like de-villainous.
As we watch this, folks, don't watch Leslye. Watch Amandla. Watch how Amandla views this woman. Watch the love she has for this pale-skinned Harvey Weinstein woman.
Of the classic kind of fairy tale bad guy, the concept of true love being between two sisters and not a heterosexual relationship. Like it just destroyed me completely. And I thought, gosh, I would love to make something like this that is, for lack of a better term, Disney, meaning something that like my parents would have allowed me to see when I was younger as a queer person.
Gotcha.
But I would have been able to understand as a queer person. And I think I would have had a completely different life. And so I really was inspired by it and was like, God, I would love to make a story like this. And so when I was developing this original idea to pitch to Kathleen, I thought, well, it can't just be that, when you're...
I can't just pitch, hey, I want to make a queer Frozen set in Star Wars.
Pitching Star Wars, you have to pull from what, George was also interested in. Like, it can't just be like, well, I'm referencing, especially if you're going to set something, during the High Republic or end of High Republic into prequels, you don't have the Skywalker saga. Like, you can't reference a character that was created by George and or Filoni. Like, you have to create your own.
No.
Why? What?
She's some kind of special, I'll tell you.
There are people that were alive in the High Republic that were created by George Lucas in the original Star Wars movies. Not even the prequels, and also the prequels. Of course, this is ridiculous. Lorraine,
well, we just ran into that, right? That's why this is particularly funny, is because of the latest character faux pas they made. Like, she literally tried to set this in a time where she couldn't screw it up, and she screwed it up. It's amazing.
This goes back to, remember when Leslye Headland was asked, she's like, oh, I'm a fan of Star Wars, and said, well, what's your favorite movie? I don't know, all of them. When you say something like that, that tells me you're not really into the films or the George Lucas lore at all. It's different if it's like, I can't pick just one, or I haven't seen them, but I'm making it a point to see them so I know what to draw from when I'm creating this show. She didn't do that. It was very dismissive, and it's very obvious in the writing for The Acolyte that this chick has not paid attention truly to any of the existing lore from George Lucas.
Oh,
what's your favorite NFL team culture? All of them.
I'm like, well, no, unfortunately I like the Cardinals, which is a terrible team to pick, but no. Look, I look before, I also like the Patriots, which I'm going to get hate for from the chat, but look,
you like Dallas?
But I mean, Dallas is fine. And when I was a kid, I grew up loving Dallas. You know that. But I also loved, you got to remember this, I love the San Francisco 49ers, when San Francisco was a valuable city in this country. But anyway, rewinding back to this. If you're Leslye Headland, you made a great point, Lorraine, I want to add to. I love all the Star Wars. That's part one of that answer. Part two of that answer is, but I think Empire Strikes Back is the best second movie of any franchise ever made, because it took the story, turned it on its head, and gave you some real threat. There's some real consequences at the end of that film, and you were stuck at a cliffhanger at the end of that maybe hasn't been topped since, because you don't know what's going to happen in the third movie. That's the second part of that answer. But she didn't have the second part, and as you pointed out, it's just like, I like all the Star Wars. Okay, great.
All right, folks, we have come to the end yet again of another video of pure excellence. Why do we say that? Why are they excellent? Well, folks, it's because you are here with us. We appreciate you. We see you every time you elect to share your time with us. We consider it a true honor, honestly. All right, folks, we have launched That Gameplays, brand new channel now covering gaming, entertainment, and news. We sure do hope that you'll go over, consider subscribing to @ThatGamePlace. You're going to have a good time over there and find out what's going on in the video game industry. We're bringing the same kind of clarity that we've brought with Disney and entertainment to gaming. Folks, on the way out the door, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. Folks, as we say every time, and we mean it, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.